Welcome back to my franchise mode for the Oklahoma City Cyclones here on Access Football 2023. In the last video, we got the series underway and we simulated all the way to week 9. We are currently 4-4 and fighting for a playoff spot. As of right now, we are in a wildcard spot. And we have no injuries headed into week 9 to take on the Carolina Rattlers. So let's figure out if we move on to 5-4. Sadly, we do not. We dropped this game 32-28 to Carolina. Let's figure out these stats. Shelton went 22 of 37 for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns, one of his better days. Our running back Kelly, 21 for 37 and a touchdown. Angelo Caro, 11 for 64, no touchdowns. Owens, 5 for 54 and a touchdown. And Murray caught 3 passes for 27 yards and a score. It looks like Lane Brock, who I think I kept calling Logan Brock in the last episode, but Lane Brock got an interception and so did Hill. How did we do on their quarterback? 17 of 29 for 174 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions, and both of their running backs got a touchdown. And now all of our scouts have all 3 points stored up, so let's go ahead and do some scouting. We're going to start with Dylan Marsh here, and he will drop to a C+. What about Dale Park? He drops to a C. And what about George Brouch here? He drops all the way down to a C. So the West Division is not looking great in terms of recruits. And over here in the Central Division, we're going to recruit Brian Reed, and he will stay at a B. We'll recruit him one more time, and he is officially a B. And we will use our last point on running back Marson Bates, who drops down to a B. If we can get Gogol, I gladly would, but I doubt he is there after like the first or second pick, and I don't think we're going to be picking that low. In the Southeast, let's scout Gerardo Wilson here, who stays a C. What about Giovanni Mendoza? He will remain a C as well. Do we have anyone else that we can add to this? Let's scout Damian Stevens, and he will also remain a C. I don't know if I'm doing the scouting as efficiently as I possibly could. I am just doing my best here, going through blindly. But let's scout Abraham Daniel, who drops to a D+. That is the lowest I've seen anyone drop so far after scouting them. Let's go back up here. What about Sean Stokes? We already scouted him once, and he remains a B. We now know as much about him as possible. And let's go ahead and scout Austin Ray, and he goes down to a C. And with that loss, we drop out of the playoff picture for right now, so we're going to need to win some games. But our next game is against the Washington Sentinels, who you see down here are 8-1. So let's see if week 10 goes our way. I don't want to say these simulations are random, but we did just take down an 8-1 team. Let's see exactly what we did. Shelton goes 23 of 35 for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kelly ran for 122 yards and a score. Angelo Caro got a touchdown. What do we do for their quarterback? He goes 21 of 35 for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. And on defense, getting the interception, May got 2 and Weber, never mind, that's tackle for loss. I was reading the wrong chart. Stevens is the one that got the pick. And with that win, we take back our wildcard spot, so let's see if we can keep that going into week 11. And we've already played Denver once this season. We played them back in week 5 and lost 13-21, giving them their first win on the season. So let's play a little bit better today. And it seems Denver is just going to be that team that is going to be hard for us to beat. We don't even get into the end zone. That looks like we scored 5 field goals. Let's figure out exactly what happened. Shelton, 21 of 33 for 137 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Kelly runs for 48 yards. Our receivers don't really do anything. And there is no kicking stats that show up on the screen, so we can't see that. But Cerna, their quarterback, goes 22 for 35, 170 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. And it looks like Lane Brock got that 1 pick. And with that loss, not only did we lose our wildcard spot, we dropped to last in the division behind the Carolina Rattlers. And our next game is against the 6-5 San Francisco Sharks here in week 12. Let's see if we can get our 6th win on the year. And we do manage to pull out a win here, 21-17. And let's see how our quarterback played. Shelton went 21 of 38 for 157, 1 touchdown, and a pick. Our running back doesn't do a whole lot. Angelo Caro, 7 for 48, but Owens, 9 for 72 and a touchdown. Their quarterback goes 20 of 35 for 145, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Who got the 1 interception for us? That would be Henniger. But it's been a few weeks, so now we have scouting points again. So let's scout Eddie Park here in the West Division. He drops down to a D+. All right, so it's still holding up that this section here in the West is not going to be very good. What about Edward Hayes? He drops down to a C. And we'll scout Carson Hammond, who drops down to a C as well. All right, in the Central Division, we have Terrell Schmidt, who is currently a B. He drops down to a C. What about Lorenzo Fox? He will go up to a C. He actually, I think, moved up the board a bit. I don't know. He may have moved down. We are scrolling a lot here. And then the last player we will scout, let's go ahead and scout running back John Patton, who will actually improve to a B+. Is that the first player that we've actually seen improve whenever I scouted them? All right, now in the Southeast Division, what about wide receiver Cedric Colon here? He will remain a C. Is there anyone up top we have not scouted? Not really. What about defensive back Tyson Owens? He improves to a C+, so now we're getting some players that are improving. That's good. And then we'll scout wide receiver Jackson Daniel, who also improves to a C+. And now in the Northeast Division, we will scout offensive lineman Todd Meyer, who will remain a C. And we will scroll back up to right here, Skylar Reynolds, who will also remain a C. And what about Arturo Roberts? Why not? If we need a punter, we'll scout him. He goes from a C+ to a C. And with that last win, we do get back above the Carolina Rattlers in the standings, but we do not have our playoff spot back. It looks like the wildcard teams currently are the Atlanta Razorbacks, who are 7-5, and the Washington Senators, who I think I may have called Sentinels earlier. If I called them even anything, whatever. They're 10-2. They're on the wildcard spot, pretty much guaranteed. And the San Francisco Sharks, who somehow don't lose the tiebreaker to us, even though we're both 6-6 and we beat them. But now we get to take on the Nebraska Thunder here in Week 13, so let's see if we can pick up our 7th win on the year. And we do not. They beat us pretty bad, 44-23. Let's see how everyone played. Shelton, our quarterback, goes 19 for 31, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Our running back doesn't really do much. Angelo Carroll, 5 for 44. Owens caught a touchdown and West caught a touchdown. How did their quarterback do? 18 for 33 and a touchdown. Their running back had 15 carries for 23 yards, but 4 touchdowns. You've got to be kidding me, defense. And as you can see on the screen, we have fallen below the Rattlers again here in the divisional standings, and our next opponent is the 8-5 LA Tide. But we managed to pick up a win over the LA Tide, 27-26. It looks like Shelton goes 22 for 35, 154 and 2 touchdowns. Their quarterback 20 for 35, 133, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Our running back ran for 103 yards. Theirs ran for 186, but no touchdowns. And who got the interceptions on our team? That would be Stevens. And with that win, we improved to 7-7, obviously. But the big thing is we are back in the wild card spot because the San Francisco Sharks have lost their last 2 games, so they fall to 6-8. And before we get into the Week 15 game against Seattle, I want to show you guys the schedule so far. Since Week 3, all we've done is alternate between losing and winning from Weeks 3 all the way to 14. So if our pattern stays the same, we should lose here to the Seattle Bruins in Week 15, but they are 3-11, so hopefully we can get over this bad team. And we finally break that loss win streak. We get the win 31-27. Let's see how everyone played. Shelton throws for 201 yards and 3 touchdowns. Their quarterback throws for 137 yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. Our running back goes for 160 and a touchdown. Their running back got 2 touchdowns. And they did throw a pick, so let's see who got that interception. That would be Reynolds on the pick. And obviously with that win, we improved to 8-7 and we get to keep our wildcard spot. We have 1 game left on the year, and the only team that's even close to us right now is the Carolina Rattlers. They are currently 7-8. The second place in the north part of our conference is the Minnesota Pride, who is 6-9. And then we have Washington, who is 10-5. They're obviously above us. And then the San Francisco Sharks are 6-9. So the only place I think we can lose our playoff spot to is the Carolina Rattlers. And that's if we lose this game and they win theirs. But before we get into the last game of the season, we do have some more scouting to do. So let's continue scouting these guys. And he improved up to a C. So now let's go down to quarterback Sergio Owens, who stays at a C. And do we have anyone else? What about quarterback Steven Hines? He will also go to a C. That's actually the 3rd time we scouted him. I did not even notice that till I already clicked it. What about linebacker Jeremy Greer over here in the Central? We have not scouted him. What we know about him, he is a C+. He remains a C+, and then drops to a C when we use our 2nd scouting point on him. So now let's go back up. And I think it was Patton who improved to a B+, so we'll use it on him, and he goes to a B after the final scouting point. And then in the Southeast, what about wide receiver Aaron Santiago? He improves to a C+, so we'll scout him one more time, and he goes back to a C. So we have 1 more point to use, and we will use it on, we know the least about Dalton Wenger here, so we will use it on him, and he remains a C. And now in the Northeast, how about offensive lineman Daryl Kaepernick? He improves to a C+. We'll burn one more scouting point on him, and he is officially a C. We have as much on him as we can get. And what about Cody Sullivan? He will drop to a D+. So now we have our last game of the regular season against the Atlanta Razorbacks. They come in at 9-6. If we win, we're into the playoffs. There's a chance even if we lose, we still get in, but it's a guarantee into the playoffs if we can take them down. Alright, I'll be completely honest. I have no idea what this is. I click Simulate Game, and Christian Colon now has a new badge, a DB Expert, plus 1 boost to all DB attributes. And we do lose our last game of the year, so we will have to see if we still made the playoffs after that. But let's see what happened. Shelton goes 18 for 31, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Their quarterback 21 for 35, 147, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Our running backs really didn't do a whole lot. Actually, our backup running back, 5 for 55. He averaged 11 yards a carry. Why don't we give the ball to him more? And then their running back had 201 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is insane. Owens was 7 catches for 41 yards and 2 scores. And then their number 1 receiver had 10 catches for 2 touchdowns. And the only person getting an interception on our side was Reynolds. And Carolina did win their game, so it's pretty much going to come down to if we won the tiebreaker over the Rattlers. And apparently we do own the tiebreaker because we get into the playoffs and our first opponent is the Green Bay Axemen. What in the hell just happened to this team? We just beat the number 2 seed 43-6. Shelton goes 21 for 39, 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kelly, our running back, 22 carries, 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their quarterback, Howell, goes 20 for 32, 139 and 2 interceptions. Their running backs don't score at all. Who got the picks on our side? That would be Richardson and May. So now we get a division matchup here in the next round of the playoffs against the Atlanta Razorbacks. And we're headed to the conference championship. Technically, I don't really know what it's called in this, but we win our second playoff game 30-27. Shelton goes 20 for 41, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. And then Burns goes 21 for 36, 171, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Who got the interceptions on our side? That would be Henniger and Daniels. But now we have some more scouting points, so let's go ahead and use these. What about wide receiver Keith Tate? He remains a C. What about defensive lineman Nathaniel Williams, if I can talk? He would also remain a C. And do we have anyone else up here that we did not scout? Yes, we do. Let's go wide receiver Esteban Hunter. He remains a C. And now here in the Central Division, we are going to scout linebacker Jamal Moody, who will drop to a C. What about this quarterback, Kyler Hansen? He will drop to a D+, so he is not going to be our franchise quarterback. And then we will scout linebacker Kevin Cole. Actually, let's scout linebacker Ray Cohen. We know less about him, and he will go to a C. And then in the Southeast, we will scout wide receiver Sean Green. He goes to a C+. What about defensive back Ty Wenger? He will remain a C. Do we have anyone else that we did not scout? Any quarterbacks, actually? Not that I see. So let's just scout wide receiver Joey Gogol here, and he will remain a C as well. And then in the Northeast, we will scout offensive lineman Kyle Becker, who will go to a C. What about offensive lineman Jaquan McLaughlin? He will drop to a D+. And then we have center Ryan Wells, who will also drop to a D+. And I didn't even notice this page at the beginning of the playoffs, so if it was there the entire time, I apologize. But the league MVP is rookie quarterback Austin Barnes. The only reason I know he's a rookie is because he also won Rookie of the Year for Indianapolis. Offensive Player of the Year is the New York running back who we get to play this week. And the Defensive Player of the Year is a linebacker from Orlando. Quarterback of the Year is also Barnes. Running back of the Year goes to the running back from Louisiana who had 21 touchdowns. How is he not the Offensive Player of the Year? Receiver of the Year goes to Curtis Norman, who caught 16 touchdowns. Defensive Lineman of the Year goes to Josiah Warren in Green Bay. Linebacker of the Year goes to Indianapolis. And the Defensive Back of the Year goes to Pittsburgh. So we get no awards in Season 1, which really does not surprise me. But now we get to take on the number 1 seed from our conference. So let's see if we can get to the championship or the Super Bowl, whatever it is called in this game. And our season will end here in the conference championship, so I'm not actually mad about that. We do actually let up 28 points in the fourth quarter to lose the game. I'm a little upset by that, but let's see what happened. Shelton goes 22 of 37 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And their quarterback threw 3 touchdowns, and their running back, who won, I believe, Offensive Player of the Year or something, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. So our final stats on the year, quarterback Terrell Shelton throws for 2,800 yards, 33 touchdowns to 21 interceptions. What did we do running the ball? Stephen Kelly had 1,200 yards, almost 1,300, and 10 touchdowns. And receiving, Angelo Carroll's the only receiver that got over 1,000 yards. He had 144 catches for 11 touchdowns. Leading the team in tackles is linebacker Marshall Hill. What about in sacks? That also goes to Hill. And interception goes to Brock and Henniger. But now we will simulate the Super Bowl or the championship game. I don't really know what it's called in this game, but we will simulate it anyway. And it looks like the New York Barons are your 2023 Axis Bowl champions. Actually, that name makes a lot of sense considering it's called Axis Football 2023. Well, that wraps up episode 2 of this franchise. In the next video, we will be doing everything you see here on the action screen. Player progressions, the draft, player contracts, and then obviously jump into the next season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.